Hi, my name's Kay. I'm 20 years old and this is Figuring Out My 20s. This video I'm gonna try and like sail through a little bit quicker than my last video just because I already filmed this. I'm kind of in a time crunch and I just want to get this edited so that way I can have it ready to post tomorrow. So excuse me if I seem like just a little bit rushed. I don't mean to, but I also do have like a time limit or a deadline that I have to meet, and so that's that. I'm gonna give you the storyline of my current job and just explain a few more things as I go along. So in January of 2025, I started at the company I'm working for now as a cashier. And it took me about 6 months. It was June of 2025 when I got offered a promotion with a raise. It was in June where they have their like performance assessments, their annual performance assessments, and that was when the job was offered to me. My boss came to me and said, "Hey, you're excelling in everything. You're doing really, really good. Here are a few critiques. Would you like a promotion?" I said, "Wow, that's really cool." I was kind of on the fence for reasons I'll explain later in the episode, but ultimately I accepted the job offer then and there. I went back to him with a few questions later on, and a month later, so in July of 2025, I officially in the system became a shift supervisor, which is my current title. The big reason is the responsibility that nobody told me I was going to obtain. Obviously, when you get a promotion, I think a lot of people, most people will understand that that comes with an increase in responsibilities, but nobody tells you like how how much responsibility you're going to gain, what it looks like. I am one person. I'm shift supervisor, so I'm not an operational manager of my store. I'm not a general manager. I'm not a manager. I'm a shift supervisor, which means when I come in, I have the authority to do more than a cashier would. The only person under me is my cashier. I don't really need to get into it or explain it, but basically, I'm not super high up in the corporate chain, but I'm not at the very bottom. And so I did get some new responsibilities that I was excited about. I knew that I was going to get them, and I was happy to take them on because I was pretty bored as a cashier. I did love life as a cashier, but obviously I took that for advantage because I didn't know what would come with being a shift supervisor. Um, and so yeah, I was pretty excited to get the promotion and start being able to train and do new things. If my job was literally just what it is in the description of my job title, I can almost guarantee that I would love my job. There would be no complications. I would not have any issues. I would not be upset or feel overwhelmed or have as much anxiety about going to work or whatever as I do. Um, but it's not. The biggest issue is that I am responsible for myself, but I'm also responsible for the work of my cashiers. Um, and so if they don't get their work done or if they're bored for whatever reason, say they don't have any tasks to do, which it's my job to delegate down to them, but I don't always have work for them to do, but I still have work for myself to do. The point that I'm trying to make is that I oftentimes have to pick up the slack for my other coworkers, especially my cashiers, simply because if they choose not to or if they choose not to do their job or have any sort of complications throughout the day, it falls on me. Now, it's a bit more complicated than that because um it's just not as simple. It's not as black and white as I'm making it or trying to make it, so that way it's easy for you to understand. There's a lot that goes into running a store and making sure that things work smoothly. And so, yes, I'm making it simple, but just imagine it's complicated. There are so many turning gears that people just don't know or think of or understand unless you work in retail or more so than work in retail, work in management and retail. What I'm trying to say is that I ended up having an increase in responsibility that nobody told me about. I went from being responsible for myself to sometimes being responsible for the work, not being responsible for the person, but for the work of another person or two other people. And what I mean by that is sometimes when I come into work, somebody before me who either is leaving or has left for the day didn't finish their tasks. So it's my job to pick up that on top of having tasks that I have to accomplish for the day and making sure that my cashier or cashiers, it's usually just one, is getting their work done. And if they're not, it just comes back to me because I end up having to do my work plus whatever work was left over from the shift before, plus the work that the cashiers are supposed to be doing. Excuse me, I just need water. Talking so much makes my throat freaking dry. Now, the question that I find myself asking myself a lot is the hassle worth the money? And the answer is no. I'm not going to tell you how much I make just because I don't want to get in trouble at work, but I only from being a cashier to a shift supervisor, I only make $1 more than I was as a cashier. And it doesn't add up to the responsibilities that I've been giving or the expectations that I'm supposed to uphold on a daily basis. Yeah, $1 is just not enough. And I'm sure there are other people out there who are experiencing exactly what I am. And I mean, you just know how I feel. You go into work and you're just like, I'm doing so much more than I was before, but I'm still making pretty much the same as I was before. And it's just like, I don't know. I guess it feels defeating and kind of like stupid. Like, why am I doing this? This is just not worth my time or energy. You know, I find myself thinking a lot that I just wish I had turned down the promotion because it's just not worth it. I could be still just responsible for myself, um, doing the same mundane tasks and not having to worry about all the things that I do to ensure that our store runs smoothly, because I do care about my job and I care about the other people that I work with. So I try my best to make sure that I'm doing my job to the best of my abilities so that way their lives aren't harder. Um, but yeah, I just find myself wishing that I hadn't taken the promotion when I did. I've definitely learned that compensation doesn't always reflect responsibility. And I've explained that, which is basically, you know, I'm getting paid one person's salary, but I'm doing 3 times as much work. Um, and it's just not fair. It's really not fair. Like, if I'm going to be doing the work of 3 people on a daily basis and expected to do that to get it all done, then I need to be getting compensated twice as much or 3 times as much, depending on how much work I'm doing, as I am now. Sorry, I kind of forgot my train of thought, so I had to retrace my steps. Um, I already said this, but it's in my notes, so I'm gonna reiterate. If I could take back the promotion, I would, and I would just stick with the base pay that I had and be a cashier because it wasn't hard and I was getting paid to do the work that I was doing. Another working part in why I just am not happy with where I am with this company is because I feel stuck and not rewarded enough. And now that contradicts what I was saying before, um, in terms of being bored as a cashier and being excited about having the responsibilities I do as a shift supervisor. But what I mean is that I don't feel like I'm fulfilling a purpose. Um, and that just, I mean, it would leave anybody feeling stuck and not rewarded enough. So I guess that leads me to just say, if you have a passion, chase it. That's what I'm doing with this YouTube channel. Um, don't allow fear of failure or just fear of other people's opinions or really anything get in the way of you chasing your dreams. Don't let anybody else's dreams or wants get in the way of you chasing your dreams, because you're gonna regret not making things happen for yourself. The last couple things I just want to say quickly are: realize you're not stuck. You have choices. You always have choices to make, and the choice is yours alone. Um, so if you're at a job where you don't love what you're doing, you can leave. I will say from my own experience that I feel stuck where I am right now because of the amount that I'm being paid compared to what um, companies in the surrounding area are offering. And, you know, my expenses in life right now, I just can't afford to take the pay cut. But at the end of the day, I'm carving the pathway for myself to be able to achieve something that makes me feel like I'm fulfilling a purpose. And so while I do feel stuck right now, I know that this is not something that's going to last forever, and eventually I'm going to be doing something for myself that makes me feel good, starting with this YouTube channel. This is a big part of me taking a step to make myself feel more like my life is my own and that I can chase my dreams while still taking care of myself. You know, I'm not doing anything crazy like up and quitting the job that pays for my bills, pays for my car, pays for my rent, pays for my health insurance, blah blah blah, whatever. But I am taking up something that makes me feel good about myself. So, if you can start something small that will eventually grow into something big or just brings you joy, there's no reason to not do it. Do it. Just do it. Um, don't stay somewhere where you're underappreciated. I think this is a good point for a lot of people to hear, because I think it just is. I feel like a lot of people will stay somewhere where their value is not necessarily seen for whatever reasons you may have, and I just want to tell you, don't. Again, like, you're not stuck. If you're somewhere where you're being underappreciated, your value's not being seen, and it's not making you happy, don't stay there. There is something somewhere else, and it's a good chance that this is this is fate trying to tell you that you're meant to be somewhere else, whether it's across the country or in a different state, maybe close to home, or just across town from your job now. Somebody out there is trying to tell you that you're meant to be somewhere else. You just have to listen. I said this a little bit before, but I'm again going to reiterate. Don't allow fear to keep you from reaching for the stars. And what that means is, don't stop yourself from achieving your dreams, because you're gonna regret it in the end. I mean, I had a YouTube channel in high school, and I really loved like editing and posting the videos and seeing the views and just like having fun with my friends, being silly and stupid, and like recording it and knowing it was something that I could look back at from being in school. And I mean, I just loved it. I really did just love filming myself and my friends being goofy. He's whining. Come here. Come here. Yes, I know. I'm sorry. Okay. Can you sit? No. Lay down. All the way down. Good boy. But basically, I just loved the channel that I had, and I stopped doing it because I didn't really have the time for it. I'm sorry, he's hitting the mic. I didn't have the time for it, and I don't know. I think I eventually just, yeah, I think the big thing was that I didn't have time for it really anymore. Um, I think maybe my fear of judgment also played into that, of other people's judgment. And so I ended up deleting that channel. And so it's something that I can't go back and look at anymore, which is a bit sad for me now, but I'm doing this now to overcome my fear of judgment and my fear of failure and my fear of um I guess putting myself before others. I am I sometimes feel like I am not worthy of chasing my own dreams. Like I don't deserve to chase my own dreams. And this is me just kind of telling myself that I am worth it, and anyone who believes that I don't deserve it, you know, shove off. The quote I'm gonna leave you with before I run and go feed this sweet hungry boy. Look at his face. Look at his face. Duty, say hi. Okay. The quote I'm gonna leave you with today is procrastination is the deadliest form of denial. Just think about it. You know, think about how that applies to your life, what it means, and I hope that it resonates with you as deeply as it has for me. That's all I have for you this week. Um, I will see you guys next week. Bye. Say hi. Look over here. Look here. Oh, you sweet boy. You're so handsome.